Hello there, and welcome back to the Love Machine podcast. Have you ever felt like you're meant for more, but just can't figure out how to get there? Maybe you're stuck in a job that drains you or in a dating pattern that no longer serves you. You are not alone. In fact, studies show that over 67% of people say they are not living their dream life, not because they don't want to, but because they don't know how to. And how to take that first bold step. So in this uplifting episode of The Love Machine, I am joined by the absolutely incredible Amy Kelly, a life reset and confidence coach who helps women in their 20s and 30s bounce back from heartbreak, burnout, and life pivots with power and purpose. Through her Reset to Rise method, Amy empowers you to stop playing small and start building a life and love that you're truly obsessed with. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. We're going to be talking about designing dream relationships, building confidence after chaos, and letting go of what no longer fits the dream life that you're meant to live. And at the very end of this, Amy, we're doing a wonderful little reset moment, which we'll explain to you later on, for everyone to join in and get the full experience and the full impact of her wonderful coaching. So let's dive in right now and start dreaming and doing as big as possible. Amy, how are you doing?
I am good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me on the podcast. I'm super excited about this.
So am
It's a
I.
huge passion in my life right now.
Yeah, I love your passion. I love your energy. And I picked that up from that when we had our initial chat. As I often do with my guests, you're absolutely incredible, building your brand up. And it's all about dreaming big, isn't it, today?
Yes, definitely. It's about dreaming as big as you possibly can. I don't want
Yeah.
to be dreaming small. It's about dreaming something that is just amazing in your life, like waking up that life you're obsessed with is my motto.
It is. 'Cause the problem is people aren't living their best lives. They're not living life as best they can. And I heard a quote the other day that someone mentioned that we're only on this earth for a very, very short period of time. And we've only got one go at this. Why aren't we dreaming as big as possible and going for everything we possibly can? No matter how amazing that might be and how impossible it might seem, let's just go for it. So I think this is about, my podcast is about empowering people. You're about empowering people.
Yeah.
But very quickly, first of all, what made you get into this? And there's a little bit of heartbreak going on here as well, and a little bit of
Yeah.
things that have changed. So what's your story so far, then, Amy?
Yeah, I've been on a journey. It's been the last couple of years has been, a bit difficult. I've been through the messy middle and I have come through the other side, living my dream life. And now that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And
Mm.
I was at a place a couple of years ago where I was completely lost. I was completely broken. I didn't know who I was anymore. I got married at an early age at 21. And after that marriage kind of broke down at the age of 27, I was faced with a what now episode in my life. The
Mm.
house had gone, the car had gone, the marriage had disappeared. I was back in my parents' house. And it's something that nobody talks about is that moment where it's like, what do I do now? I could stick with the normal society life, carry on with my career, or do I go with what my heart is saying and go and move away, like face the world on my own and really take a plunge and take a chance on my life to start again, which I did.
Amazing. So you got the background and you lived through this yourself, and now you're dreaming big and having your own business and life on your terms.
Mm,
So, what exactly does a dream life mean to you? And why
mhm.
do you think there's so many people are just disconnected in life?
Yeah, so the dream life to me is it's different to everyone, and I want to stress that like everyone's dream life is different, but it's about empowering you to live your dream life. And if you don't know what
Mm.
that is, that's what I help you get there. But my
Yeah.
dream life is having the freedom to travel, the freedom of a digital nomad life, which is what I do, and living a life of true purpose, which is about giving back to amazing women all over the world and letting them see their true purpose and their dream which kind of came from my traveling era. I did spend like a year and a half out of the UK, which is where I'm from,
Hmm.
and I started to meet amazing women who kind of were in the similar age, like lifestyle that I was living, but they were completely disconnected from life. They were in jobs that they didn't like. They were only on a 2 week break, and they were just following what society kind of tells them to do. You get that career,
Yeah.
you get that job, you get that marriage, and then at that point, it's like, what's next? And you get there and then you realize that's not what you wanted. It's not, doesn't fulfill you in any way. And it might be the country that you live in, it might be the relationship, but you're kind of back to that point where it's like, where am I going with this? This is
Yeah.
not what I set myself up for. So the disconnection is there. Like people are burnt out. They are in jobs that they don't like, including myself. I was one of them. And I decided to do something empowering to me. And it was scary. I did have to take some chances and I did have to take some risks, but it paid off.
Hmm.
So that I want to give back to show other women that you are more than capable of achieving your dream life.
Yeah. Amazing. I think a lot of people are disconnected in particular because they're living the life that their parents or someone else wanted
Exactly.
them to live. Would you agree with
Exactly.
that? And they are. So they
100.
feel they're going down the path. They've got to maybe earn X amount of money, live in this massive
Yep.
house, have a massive car, have the partner of
Hmm.
their dreams, and have all these 2.5 children. Was it 2.5 children? What's the I thought 2.3 children, isn't it? They want to
Yeah.
have that, and they go down this path, and it's not what they want. It's not what makes them happy. So you must see that yourself as well with your clients.
Yes, I do. And I am focusing on the younger, your 20 to 30s age, because at that point, it's like you do start to get married, you start to have children, and baby, you're starting on, the career ladder. But almost people are too scared to take a detour. Like, okay, well,
Mm.
actually, this isn't for me. And maybe I could go in another direction, but everyone thinks it's set up for life. And I did too. I was one of them people. And when my life did come crashing down, when I thought that was my next, 50 years in that house and that marriage and everything, and then that didn't happen. I was like, okay, we are allowed to change. I am allowed to
Yeah.
do this. I can build a life that's truly my purpose on my terms and not no and nobody else's, because we do follow what our parents did and how they lived their lives, and we kind of start to do the same, and we stay in our hometowns. Well, I did anyway. And it is scary to do something different, different from the norm, from the rest of
Yeah.
your friends.
But how do you live your dream life? And then if you need to break away from that safety net, because we've got bills to pay, haven't we? We've got to do certain
Hmm.
things, and we need the human connection. So where do you start?
I started with making like I started with my purpose. That's where I started, started living fully remotely. It isn't for everyone. So it may not be the chance of just like, I want to live abroad. It could be as simple as I want to start this business. I've always loved, I don't know, you might have a passion for dancing or yoga or something. Find your passion and the purpose will follow. So you follow that. My passion was traveling, my passion was meeting people, my passion is also helping others. So it's like, let's put all that together and actually start to build something. So for me, I tell people is find out what you really like. Where are you most happiest? And go with that, and then everything else will start to follow. Because everyone just follows maybe something that they've done at university, which is what I did, and
Mhm.
not really go to your strengths and what you're really passionate about. Because that's where you will thrive and you'll start to see everything will flow.
I think part of the problem also is that people don't know what their dream life is right from the start. They say they want this massive sports car, a
Mm-hmm.
massive house, and they want all these things. In reality, it's not what they really want.
No.
And so and when I work with people on relationships, because that's my speciality, I
Mm-hmm.
always say, look, what do you want? And they don't know. They don't know. They haven't got a clue. So I always paint the
No.
picture. And when they do, they say, well, this is all very nice, but how am I going to get this? It doesn't seem real to them. So I have my own
Yes.
techniques I teach them to make this reality. But you must see the same thing
Yes.
yourself.
100%. Yeah, exactly that. I mean, one of my first questions is, what is your dream life? And I'm
Yeah.
so shocked by every time I get the answer is, I don't know. I've never thought about my dream life. I don't know what it is. And I'm like, well, let's start. Let's start thinking about what that could look like to you. What do you want I start with the morning, a bit like you. Does your morning routine look like? If you had no barriers right now, what would you be doing? How would you spend your days? What would you like to do? What lights you up? So I agree completely on that.
It's about imagination as well. I think you've got to let
Hmm.
imagination go as wild as you want it to. Because if you've got no upper limits, then everything you do is going to be an improvement, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
it. And there's no ceiling there at all. But so it's got to
But
be a dream life. It's got to be exciting. It's got to be sustainable and not just a fantasy. So at
hmm
which point do you draw the line between it becoming a reality and a fantasy, or does it really matter?
yeah, I mean, a lot of people tell me is like, oh, what is your reality and what does it look like to you? And my dream life is allowing myself to have that dream, like living as big as I possibly can, but also within my limits. I know what my limits are. I know what I can achieve, but I also want to push further and further. And every
Yeah.
time I push them barriers, I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this, and I can do this next thing, and then the next thing happens. So you've just got to keep pushing them boundaries, but it doesn't happen overnight. And that's what I tell
Yeah.
everybody. You might see that I am confident, but this didn't happen overnight. It's about taking one step every single day towards that dream life and letting them practical steps, put them into action.
Yeah, it's all a work in progress. And I say that myself. I have a wonderful life.
Hmm.
I'm extremely happy.
Yeah,
But I always believe in like the law of attraction and taking action to get to what I
yeah.
want. And I write down these wonderful things and manifesting, and I believe in all that. But I I don't have the perfect life. I always want
Hmm.
more. You're always desiring more. But I've got a very balanced life and I'm very fortunate. But I always want to get more. And that's what part of the fun is in life. It's always going to
Hmm.
the next thing. And some people push themselves too far for what they don't want. They're sort of grabbing at these bars that they shouldn't be going for in the first place because it isn't what they really want. I think if something's
Yeah,
meant for you, it won't pass you by. Have you heard that
exactly.
phrase?
100%. I live by that.
Yeah.
We're pushing the wrong direction sometimes, including me. Like I've been through the messy middle. I was like, I'm doing this, this is what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
the pushback was so big. I was like, okay, that's not meant for me. Let's go in this other direction. Let's keep trying there. And eventually you'll find that thing where it's like, okay, this is pushing me now in the right direction.
It is. Do you believe in manifestation?
100%. I live by it as part of the program too, which is, I'm a huge believer in it.
Let's talk about your program because that's the whole
Hmm.
point of this, isn't it? We're going to give everyone a little taste of your program. And I'm looking at what it's called. It's called the Reset to Rise method, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
and that is the right way around, isn't it? It's not rise to reset. I suppose it could be.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, no, it's about starting from the beginning. It's about letting go of what no longer serving you. And with on this journey, it is a process. It's not going to be instant. And I really like to let let my clients know that we have to start somewhere. And that's
Yeah.
somewhere is just letting go of who you thought you were meant to be, and
Mm.
allowing yourself to be there and giving yourself permission. And also me, it's been about relating to somebody who's already been there. It's not like I'm trying to understand how you feel. I know how you feel in that moments, that is in your darkest moments. And it is difficult. I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy because it really isn't. But if you start showing up for yourself and you take these daily habits and you do work on yourself, you will see a change in your life.
Yeah. I agree. Nothing ever comes quickly. If it does, it's just short-term success.
Hmm.
We want to live our best life and go for that all the time. It's same true what I do with my coaching for relationships. It's
Yeah.
unlikely you're going to find someone the most amazing partner next week, and if you did, you're probably going to blow it anyway because you're not ready. That's what happens.
Hmm.
Life does test us all the time, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
it tempts us with little things, little distractions, and that's part of the fun. But you have to go out there and do all different things. But it's taking the first steps, as you just said, and getting
Yeah.
yourself out there. So, what in your method? I know you don't want to say too much about it because everyone has to go through the program with you. But
Hmm.
is it different topics, different coaching sessions, different themes? How does it work? Like a sort of, if I was to ring you up and say I'm really interested, of course I'm male, so you probably wouldn't sell it to me. But if I'm just one of my female listeners, think, you know what, this sounds great. What would it actually involve?
Yeah, it starts with we start to let go. It's called a detox. So we detox, we clear everything, all negative energy. I'm all about energy. I love positive energy, but I also know how it feels to be on the lower end. So we start with that. Then we start to reconnect with who you are. What are your passions? What really lights you up? A bit
Mm.
like what we were talking about. Then we elevate to the next step. What are them habits that we can do on your daily steps to get there? And then we start to activate, like stepping into that confidence, that power that you have that's within you, and you can get there, stepping into your own energy. And then we also manifest, which is a huge part of the program, is about how do we manifest? What do we do? How do we bring that to reality?
Mm.
And then we celebrate the yeses, celebrate your growth, and integrate this new identity that it is part of a new identity because I had to shift from the older version of me into the new version of me. And it's hard. It's really hard. And if you don't have somebody alongside you doing this, it's almost like, where do I go with this? And that's part of why I'm on the journey with you, part of growing and learning and helping you because I know how it feels to get to that next step.
I love that. And I saw that you're going to be doing retreats as well. Is that right?
Hmm.
Have you
Yeah, so
started
I
doing that
spend
yet? Yeah.
Yeah, so I spend a lot of my time in Central America in Costa Rica. So it's a huge place it was part of my healing journey actually, because it's a very beautiful country that allows you to just rest almost. That's a word I can give you is about resting. It's
Mm.
a very sacred place. And there will be next year, but I will be starting to host retreats. And it's going to be really exciting because we'll be near the beach and it'll be like relaxing and manifesting and it'll be really, really exciting place.
That sounds my sort of thing. I love that. I would love to do that myself one day. I never could. I've
Hmm.
got little kids and I'm not allowed to do that at the moment, but one day I think retreats are definitely a brilliant way. Now, something that I come across a lot with trying to manifest and trying to change your life
Hmm.
is limiting beliefs, isn't it? It's a
Yes,
topic that comes up all the time.
all the
And
time.
how can you rewrite your own mindset and your story?
I mean, I struggled with this too, so I completely understand it. It's
Yeah.
really, really hard. We are so wired into our past and what's happened and almost not believing that you can do it. For me, I did certain tactics. So I started with affirmations. They might seem really simple, but they really, really work. So as soon
Mhm.
as you wake up in the morning, start with the affirmations. Then start with all the positivity you can. Don't try and go on your phone and try and absorb other things. Really train your brain to go into that. And then I start with being grateful. The more you're thankful, the more amazing things start to happen in your life. And I really, really believe in that. And then it's all about education too. So I read a lot. I read a lot of books and podcasts and really
Sure.
try to train my mind in the most positive way that I possibly can to rewrite it. And also journaling. Journaling has been an amazing life tool for me.
You've mentioned loads of daily habits there already, and which is
Hmm.
great. And we'll ask you at the end of this if you've got any more. And these come
Yeah,
up time and time again, all the things that you've mentioned. And I think affirmations, everything you said has its power. But I
it
think
is.
the gratitude list is probably an important one when you're going to try and dream big in particular. I mean, all
Yes.
the other things fall into place, but a gratitude list, if you're not grateful for what you have, then the universe won't send you any more, will it? You're not going to have that. You've got to work
No.
out. You've got to, even little small things. You might say, well, I'm really unwell. I haven't got a job. But do you know what? You're living in
Yeah.
this world. You've got four walls around you. You've got a bed.
Yeah.
You haven't got that. So where do you
But
start with that if you haven't got much?
yeah, the thing is I read this one time and then I was like, oh my goodness, that's so correct. Like the more you can't just say it. You can't just say, I'm grateful for today. It doesn't mean anything. You've got to feel it in your body, in your energy. You've got to really believe it. That's one thing that I cannot stress enough. Go out, for me, I go outside and I ground my feet into the ground if it's safe to do so with no shoes on and really stand there and believe what you're saying. I am amazing and keep repeating it. And even if you haven't got anything, like I was back in my parents' bedroom, there's no way I could have believed that I am where I am right now. But
Mhm.
what I did is I started to believe in myself, believe in that I can achieve anything because you really can. There is no limit. You keep pushing them boundaries. And that's what I did. I started playing the game. I started going, okay, I've reached this point. I'm in this country. And I started to meet these amazing people. And I kept pushing the boundary every single time. And then you start to believe it. You're like, okay, I can do this.
You can, but you've got to start doing the small steps to get towards that.
Hmm.
You mentioned about how you
Definitely.
mentioned how you go out in the garden barefoot and you ground yourself. I'm
Yeah.
hearing a lot about that. Is that a real thing? Does it actually work?
Mm, it really does. It
Does
really
it?
helps. As soon as I get up in the morning, I don't do anything. I go straight outside, mainly with a glass of water to go
Mm.
outside, and I receive that positive energy into my body.
Yeah,
And I say thank you because it's all about energy and feeling it and the water and the moving, and it really does work, feeling that energy.
I'm hearing that a lot. I'm hearing you can even buy like grounding strips that you can stand on. I'm not sure
Mm,
what I don't know what that is, but I think I've heard that a lot. I'm going to try that out
yes,
because I like to try new things out all the time and give that a
yes,
go. While the weather's still quite nice, I'll give that a
yes,
go, which is absolutely incredible. But
yeah,
let's talk quickly about relationships in general.
yes.
Why do people keep making bad choices in relationships? Because many of my listeners now, do you know what? It's all very well. I want to dream big. I want to have this perfect relationship, but
Hmm.
it's not like I've got loads of options. I can't go out there and find people who say, but go on these dating apps and I'm just meeting strange people. So how can you change that in dream for the perfect relationship?
I think, well, for me anyway, you stay comfortable, and it's almost too scary to get out of that comfort zone. It is a
Yeah.
safe place. But it
Hmm.
gets to the point where you're at breaking point and you think, well, I have to leave right now. I know I need to do something for me. And for me, it was about building up my self-worth again, building up my choosing myself and not ignoring the red flags. because they are there. And the longer you ignore it, the more they happen. And it's
Yeah.
just going to get worse. And it does get worse.
Mm.
Unless you address it there and then. But for me it did, it got to the point where I didn't know who I was anymore. And it's about building that self-trust up with you again, facing who you really are. Because if you're losing yourself in a relationship and you've lost a relationship, then you need to start working on yourself because it's just going to keep happening.
It is. I had this conversation with a client yesterday who I've known quite a long time. She came back for another
Mm,
session. And what she's doing, she's just dating anybody because she's so
okay.
scared of being on her own. So I said to
Okay.
her, look, I'm not allowing that to happen anymore. You know these people aren't going to work out and you're just doing it. It's better to be on your own than to be with someone that makes you unhappy. Because at least on your own, you can live your life on your terms. Would you agree with that?
Yes, definitely. I know how she feels, and I've been there after being in a long-term relationship. But
Yeah.
what changed for me is when I started to put that energy back into myself, I started to really trust and believe who I am. I started to invest in myself, and that's when everything changed. Because I wasn't looking for any outside validation. I was seeking the validation inside from me.
Hmm. So important that you do that because we have to trust ourselves first of all to make this happen and do that.
Hmm.
I think now would be a good time actually to do your little exercise, which we called the
Yes.
reset moment. So can you explain what that is, please?
Yeah, so I just want to have a couple of minutes. It's about taking time out of your busy lives that everybody is. We're so overwhelmed these days. I saw a statistic yesterday actually about the world. We're in the peak of loneliness
Mm.
and we're not reconnecting. I think it's a one in three young people, so the age of 18 to 30 are actually uh they're in depression and lonely and full of anxiety. And I feel like we need to let go and we need to just be in the moment, in this present moment, and be confident and accept who we are in this exact moment right now.
Absolutely agree. That sounds great. So you're going to guide people, everyone listening to that right now. So anyone that's listening, before we start, it's an obvious thing, but if you are driving or you're in the gym on the treadmill, now isn't the best time to listen to this. But you can listen to it and then replay it when you get home, somewhere safe where you can sit down and just be guided for this. So I have to say that I'm sure that's a legal thing. Just to be careful. We don't
Yeah.
want everyone falling off treadmills. Imagine that everywhere, just listening to
Oh
your
yeah.
relaxing voice. So great.
Exactly.
So I'm going to be quiet, which is very hard for me for the next few minutes.
Yeah.
I'll let you lead this, Amy. So I'm going to mute myself. So if you'd like to direct our listeners in a second when I've muted myself, that would be amazing. And I'll come back to you when you let me know it's safe to do so.
Amazing. Thank you. Okay, so let's begin. I want you to find a comfortable position, whether that's sitting or lying down or wherever you feel comfortable. There's no wrong way to do this. And close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly out of your mouth. Again, breathe in and let go. Let go of all that negativity. Drop your shoulders, soften your jawline, release that tension you're holding that we all seem to hold in our bodies, especially the upper bodies, and let go of anything that's no longer serving you right now, the to-do list, the worries, the noise, and just picture yourself right now standing at a crossroads. Behind you is a version of yourself who's been carrying way too much, tired, unsure, or maybe even heartbroken. You've done your best, but she's ready to put down what is no longer serving her. Ahead of you is something new, something unknown, but also something true, something that feels like a possibility. Let's breathe into that possibility. Inhale and exhale. Let your breath become the anchor in this moment and place one hand over your heart and one over your belly. Feel the breath moving through you. This is your power. As you breathe, let these words land in your heart. You don't need to repeat them out loud, but let them feel into your body. I am no longer available for anything that drains me. I choose myself with love and without apology. Confidence grows each time I honor my truth. I trust the timing of my life. I give myself permission to begin again. Just stay here for a few more breaths. Let these affirmations move through your warm body. This is your reset moment. I want you to visualize who you are becoming, what she looks like on the outside. What is she walking like? How does she move with purpose? Does she speak differently? Do you choose differently with intention? She needs to be present. She is powerful. She is real and she is you. Let this be your moment to pause. Take one more deep breath in. I want you to fill your lungs completely, as much as you can, and exhale. Release that anything that does not serve you for your new chapter. This is where the transformation begins, not with a grand gesture, but with this quiet decision to choose yourself, to trust yourself, and to believe in yourself. Your reset starts now. Now you can open your eyes and feel the new you stepping into the best version of yourself.
That was awesome. Thank you so much for that. That
You're
was brilliant.
welcome.
Yeah, it was great. That's going to be very, very useful to anyone listening. You can guide them through that. So anyone can replay that as many times as they like to get a little taster of what Amy can do, which is wonderful. I always love it when people do that. My guests do it. It just gives me a chance to reflect myself and to take a moment just to chill out for a few seconds. Because
Mm-hmm.
in this busy world and lots of talking, it's always good to be grounded. And that's probably the word of the podcast, grounded, I think. And we've mentioned that a few
Yes,
times, and dream big with
exactly.
that. So I'm going to ask you
Mm-hmm.
the question I ask everybody, and you've touched upon this a bit already, your many daily habits you have. But is there anything else that you can recommend that you do?
Yes, definitely. I use, like I say, affirmations, but I also use frequency. So I also use it as an audio, when I'm either reading something, just to get my like levels of energy the best way I possibly can be. So on Spotify, you can type in frequency and listen to that as maybe you're working or you're walking, and just let it move throughout your body. And also definitely mindset, podcasts that really lift you up, anything you can read to lift up your levels, lift up your vibrations, and think as positively as you possibly can in a world that wants to give us negativity.
Yeah, I love all that. I've actually been recording some audios for my son. He doesn't sleep very well
Mm,
because he's like me. His brain's always active. He doesn't sleep.
yes.
I think you told me you're the same before
Yeah.
we had a good chat.
Hmm.
So I'm doing it, and I've got the frequencies and the different waves going in the background.
Okay.
Literally, beta waves, and I've got the sound waves of washing along, and it just really really
Yeah.
helps him unwind with my voice guiding him through it, and it helps. I
Amazing.
think you can get this on Spotify. You can get it on YouTube. There's lots of this,
Yes.
and I absolutely recommend that as well.
Me
But
too.
let's finish off about you then, Amy. If someone wants to work with you or find out more about you, they'll be in the show notes. But if you'd like to say it to people now, that would be great too.
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram. That is my main real talking point. So it's Amy Kelly Coach underscore. And on there, you'll be able to find real talk, empowerment, and also a chance to download my free guide, which is the Reset Roadmap. And it's a 5-step secrets to building back up your confidence after heartbreak and burnout, and a chance to envision your new life that you are now stepping into.
Incredible. I hope my listeners will do that. Go and download it now. Grab your guide. I'm sure that's really, really wonderful. Amy, I love what you're doing. You are so empowering,
Thank
and
you.
you chill me out just talking to you and listening, which is great, which is wonderful. But I love it, and I see all the
Amazing.
hard work you're putting in, and your channels and all the different ways. And I think that's wonderful. So you are living your life authentically and dreaming big, and that's all I ever try and do, and just to help people. So that all the callings are there.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. I hope you get to talk again. And in the
Yes, thank
meantime,
you.
thank you so much and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you so much for listening. I'd love to give you a free copy of my latest book, which you can download right now from my website, jamespreece.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, I'd really appreciate it if you could share the love by taking a few seconds to write a positive review on the iTunes store right now. See you next time.